Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Today I would like to go over how to give a proper upper back and shoulder massage. Now, the first thing I want to go over is something very simple. To make someone else comfortable, you've got to be comfortable yourself. So, while this attire may be wonderful for speech giving, unfortunately, it's very restrictive. So, whenever giving a massage, you want to be free to move your body. You want to be free to have a lot of area. So, the jacket restricted my arms and shoulders. Now, also, jewelry. Jewelry can typically get in the way because it has very rough edges and is a very uncomfortable surface for skin in general. So, no watch. Now, the muscular system is an incredibly complex, just grouping of different muscle tissues and amazing things that all work together so that we can do simple things like walk, lift our hands, and all of the rest. Now, none of these muscle groupings are simple blocks that just sit there. They're not stationary. They are constantly, 24/7, moving, adjusting, changing to our surroundings. The oxygen that flows through our body also flows through our muscles. It's got to go through the veins and oxygenate. It's got to let the muscles breathe. Our body needs to breathe. So, to show you an example of this, would my two volunteers please step up? Everybody, we have Emmeline and Ryan coming up today. We have a wonderful opportunity today because I have two volunteers. Now, if y'all would turn to face the screen so that everybody can see. Now, obviously, as you can see, the male shoulder area is much broader, much larger, typically, than females. Female shoulder area will typically be narrower, but also come in towards back to give support. The male's muscle area is meant for strength, so that we can support a lot in our upper area. Thank you. Turn around, please. Now, typically, for most instances, I would be using lotion because it really allows the skin to be flexible, to move, and it's very comfortable for the person receiving. But obviously, we won't be going that far. It's just an example. So I do have lotion here if y'all would like to have it passed around so that y'all could get a little bit of a feel for it.
This is dangerous.
Now, that's from a company called Lotion Lights. It's very wonderful because it's a candle with no smell, but the lotion itself becomes warmed by the candle heat. So that's my typical preference. Now, for the male massage, you're going to want to use a lot of pressure because the male muscles are much more densely packed. So to get into the deeper muscles, you'll need to use a little bit more force. All right, if you would turn sideways. There we go. Now I have him at an angle so that you can both see my body and how his body reacts. Now, the easiest way to begin this is we're going to have the thumbs right inside the shoulder blades. You want to be very careful not to press on the bone itself. The bones, they don't need massaging. The bones aren't what moves everything. They're just the support. So we want to use the bones as our pathways. We have the spinal cord, which travels right down the center. So instead of going right on the center when you're massaging, you'll place your thumbs about an inch apart so that you can really get into that muscle. As well as the shoulder blades, you're going to want to move in half circles. So that way you can move with the muscle's movement itself. Now, as I said, I'm going to be using a little bit more force on Ryan than I would on Emily. So, we begin. Grip your fingers right under the collarbone so that it gives you support, and begin. You're going to want to go in first. Make your half circle up. Go up through the neck And again, this is just following the pathways of the body. Thank you. Now for Emmeline, again, because of the narrower system of the body, I would not go as deep or as far as I would on Ryan. What instead I'll do is I'll go up to the spine and travel up the neck. Now this is a better way to give a massage for females because it really lets the entire body loosen up and relax. Thank you. Now, a massage is a very delicate thing and a very special thing because it allows one person to help heal another person, to help assist them physically. This is a very important thing and should not be taken for granted. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you. Questions? Questions for Richard?
Yeah, Richard. So massaging, wouldn't that hurt the person being massaged at first because you're pressing in on the muscles and they would?
That's one of those things that takes experience. If you go in, like with anything else, if you're not used to doing something, you can make mistakes. But after you've given massages for quite a while, and then it becomes a lot easier to identify someone's personal preference. Like there are a lot of people with different pain tolerance levels. So for those people, if their pain tolerance is higher, you'd be able to give more force because physically their bodies need it. For those people with lower pain tolerances, you'd want to use just enough. And that's something that takes time and practice to learn is what is just enough for that particular person. You'd want to use just enough to get into the muscle groups, but not press too deep. Because there are really two basic massages, the deep muscle, which is the more force to be used, and then the simple relaxing, something to just.
How did you come to know so much about this?
Actually kind of an odd and funny story. So my mother, when she was 19, got in a car wreck. Messed her up. Till today, she's still hurting a good deal at the time. So when I was 5, I used to joke with her that one day I would be a masseuse so that I could help her get better. And she would make jokes that said, well, if you want to start, then start right now. Go give me a foot rub. As a 5-year-old, you don't really understand that. Oh, okay, sure, whatever. So I would just spend a few hours every day learning how to give massages and use my family as practice dummies. And then from there, that was early childhood. So having something as a child really helps just instill simple things. And it can help make it easier. And we learn things as an adult, it takes years. Like we're in college right now, it takes all this effort. If we learn things as a child, it wouldn't be near this difficult. So as I grew up, high school mainly, I didn't work in shops, but I had a home setup. And so if any of my friends needed a rub down or whatever, then I would spend a few hours on them, transfer over friend to friend to friend, and they enjoyed it and I got better. So worked out for everyone.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Richard. And Richard, how much is the oil, the candle massage?
I bought it for $15 at Renfest, but I believe you can get it online. I've had this since early October, and I use it very frequently. It's got a whole lot of very good minerals and very natural things.
Is it organic?
Organic, all of it. It's very healthy for your skin, and that's why I prefer it, because there are a lot of the lotions you use nowadays with a whole bunch of chemicals and stuff that when you first use it, it's like, oh, my skin feels so soft, but then the more you use it, it dries your skin quicker. There was a big deal with the chapstick company because they were intentionally drying out people's lips. And the same thing happens with lotion companies. The drier you are, you think, oh, I need more lotion. you buy more lotion. With this, doesn't happen. It's very healthy, moisturizes, and stays for hours.
Okay, great. Thank you. Everybody, let's give it up. And Lillian, can you do me a favor and raise your hand if you have finished with Richard's evaluation? And Lillian will pick them up for me.